Hi Aries, welcome to your fortnightly reading with me, Raphael Ray from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. So I'm doing a fortnightly reading this time because I'm actually away next week. I am going on holiday, on a much needed holiday, as many of you know. So basically this is going to straddle the 2 weeks ahead, so that you guys don't miss out and that you still get something, you still get something for each week to help guide you through the rest of the month. So let's see what's taking place. I would like to bless both of these decks with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I hope that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's see, we're going to take on the monthly reading format this time. So let's see, the first card out is going to be about your actions. It's going to be about, what you actually do over the next 2 weeks, or what's going to be prominent in that area of your life. So we have, wow, I mean look at this, this is amazing, beautiful, first card out. So your actions are blessed this week, for the next fortnight actually, Aries. So the Sun card is a blessing, and this blessing comes in the form of your words, it comes in the form of your deeds, it comes in the form of being received in the best possible way that you can be received. It comes across in the way that people warm up and react to you. It talks about how people interact with you, how you communicate with people, but this is on a very practical level because your actions is ruled by fire. Fire is the divine spark. It talks about your willpower. So where is your actions this week? They're blessed, and this is by you tapping into the purest aspect of self. With the sun, when you get the Sun card, it talks about optimism, prosperity, happiness. It talks about purity. It talks about kindness. It talks about the best and brightest of everything. The sun is God. The sun in the universe, in the solar system, everything revolves around the sun. The ancients knew as well that the sun is God. Basically it's the biggest celestial body. It's what gives life to everything on the planet. The sun is God, and this is God's blessings in all of your actions. And this kind of says to me that over the next 2 weeks you're going to experience moments of, I'm doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. I'm doing what actually feels right to me. I'm doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be here for. The nakedness there talks about trust. It talks about naivety. It talks about, the pure soul. It talks about the purest aspect of self. So your actions, as I've said 3 or 4 times now, I'm sure you're aware, over the next 2 weeks are blessed. It's kind of like, within reason, don't get crazy, you can do no wrong. If you've got something that you want to ask somebody for, this would be the fortnight to do it. If you've got something that you want to do, something that requires courage, something that requires your daring, or something that just requires you to do something, this is the fortnight to do it. This is the fortnight to get off your little tushy and get out there in the world and start making things happen. What a beautiful card to start on. Amazing. So the next card represents your money and your materials. It talks about your money, your materials. It talks about your finances, your prosperity, what's coming in, what's going out. It talks about that whole arena. It can also sometimes talk about your health as well. So let's have a look. Oh, I mean, you're going from strength to strength this fortnight. So you've got the Sun card here in your actions, which is, your actions are blessed. Don't be afraid to take a couple of calculated risks over the next fortnight because they're blessed, they're heightened. Certainly after, I would say, Tuesday. Don't do anything Wednesday if you can sort of help it. I would sort of look at the end of the week would probably be better. But yeah, certainly in terms of your money and your materials, you've got the Six of Wands. What is the Six of Wands? It's victory, it's success, it's achievement, it's happiness. It's, this is the hail the conquering hero coming home from whatever conquest he's been on. Not necessarily war, although, you guys are Aries, so Mars and all the rest of it tends to be your forte. But, you know, Mars isn't just about the soldier, it's not just about war. Sometimes it's actually about strategy. And this is why I say to you, don't be afraid to take some calculated risks over the next fortnight, because they pay off, they yield dividends. For those of you that this is talking about your physical health, this is the fortnight where you start to feel better in yourself, where you get your physical vitality back. You know, the Six of Wands is an amazing card, especially for money and materials, because it talks about actually achieving that stuff. You know, like I said, Wands is fire, it's the action, it's the actualization of something. It's, you know, it's the divine spark. So this is kind of like the heavens are saying to you, money is coming, it's making its way to you. And certainly with your astrology going forward, it's looking really, really interesting for you guys, which you will see when I post the Jupiter transit video. I'm going to do one for each sign. It's going to be really exciting. So, yeah, amazing. Money and materials look good. In terms of physical health, or, you know, personal health, looks very, very good. This is the week to start the new regime. This is the week to start looking at your diet, to start really thinking about how you can get the best out of everything that you already have, so that you can open the path to acquiring and achieving more. Really, really awesome. So your next card out is your heart and your hearth. This talks about your emotional connections. It talks about your family, your loved ones, your lover, your partner, wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, all of that stuff. Wow. You get the Wheel of Fortune. I mean, this is amazing. Really, really amazing stuff here. So you've got two majors out of the three cards that have come up. And what major cards could you ask for? So you've got the Sun, which is God, the life giver, everything. Then you've got Jupiter. The Wheel of Fortune represents Jupiter. That's what the big guy is there in the middle. This card talks about what goes up must come down, but what is already down has nowhere else to go but up. It talks about luck. It talks about optimism. It's philosophy. It actually represents some legal matters, but not necessarily like the Justice card, which is, you know, all everything by the book and by the law and all that. This actually talks about your ability to generate, you know, or to work within the universal law to generate your own prosperity and your own abundance. It's a really powerful card. It's a card of really high luck as well. You know, this talks about your, and since it's talking about your heart and your heart, this is talking about your interactions with people on an emotional level. They're blessed. If you have a difficult topic to broach with a loved one or a partner, do it over the next 2 weeks, you know, because it's bound to know some form of success. It's bound to shed new light on things. You know, this is what happens when we read cards like this. We start to look at what this is like planets being conjunct in astrology, and this is what happens with the cards. They start to bring up extra messages when you get them in conjunction like this. So yes, this card represents your heart and your hearth. This is talking about your emotional relationships, your familial relationships, you know, your friendship circle as well. Jupiter is all about blessings. The Wheel of Fortune is all about blessings. It's all about the lightest and brightest, you know, and the opportunity to continually grow and expand something. And I really feel that sometimes the best way to grow and expand something is to look at what's been holding you back, is to look at the thing that is difficult, you know, to have the conversation that you haven't really wanted to have up until this point, to look at the conversations that up until now have been like, oh, you know what, I don't want to broach that subject, I don't feel like I'm strong enough, I don't feel like that person's going to react well. Well, I can tell you, over the next 2 weeks, you have the blessing. You have the blessing of Jupiter and you have the blessing of the universe. You've got the blessing of the sun. All of your endeavours in terms of your personal actions, your personal finances, prosperity, physical health, even your emotional connections with the partner, the spouse, you know, they're blessed. Broach the subjects that you haven't wanted to or felt, you know, able to do so. Talk about things that are outside of the box. Talk about things that are taboo. You know, if you want to talk about, you know, maybe spicing things up in the bedroom, go for it. Now is the time that you will be met, well, not with just the least resistance, but you might actually get more than you bargained for and think, damn, you know, my world's about to be rocked, and vice versa. And that's a big part of relationships for you guys in terms of, you know, intimate relationships. So think about that. For those of you that are single, this is the opportunity. Over the next 2 weeks, you're going to bump into somebody, you know, because Jupiter's amping up to move into Scorpio, which for you guys is going to be your 8th house. It's going to be a really exciting time for you, so look out for that. And just go with it as well, you know, and now is the time to do the preparation. These next 2 weeks is the time to be really open and pay attention to who comes into your world now, because it may well be that, you know, this person is the one, certainly for the next the next 6 to 12 months. Maybe less, maybe more, who knows, but be open to the opportunity. Okay, and then finally, we've got your communication. Okay, so it's your communication is the thing that you're going to need to look out for over the next 2 weeks. So the Devil card represents the sign of Capricorn, and it talks about addiction. It talks about what we consciously, or actually, let me backtrack. It talks about what we at first subconsciously attach to, and then when it becomes a habit, when it becomes a pattern, we then consciously recreate the cycle of having the addictive experience that we have. Now, when I see the Devil card, because it's not just a negative card, there are actually some really beautiful connotations to this card. Things like luxurious fabrics, good food, good wine, enjoyment, pleasure, physical pleasures, you know, earthy, sensual things, all of that stuff. Its negative aspect is the addiction that we have to the feelings that those things bring us. Now, this falls in your communication, and it falls right next to the Wheel of Fortune. One of the negative aspects of the Wheel of Fortune card is this ability to go round and round in a continual cycle. If there is a cycle that you have had in your relationship sector or your communication sector, this is time for you to start thinking about how you can either transmute and transcend that, or how you can find a way to cut it loose, find a way to break the chains that are tying you to this continual cycle. You know, if it's an ex that keeps coming back into the fold, this is you finding a way to say to them, look, you know what, we're either going to do this and we're going to get it together, or we just leave it. There can't, you know, for us, there doesn't seem to be any in between. This is certainly something that you need to look at. The Devil card also talks about your personal style of communication. You know, like I said, Aries isn't just about war. You guys are also strategic as well. You know, you're very strategic. But maybe that need to dominate, or rather that need to win or to constantly come out on top, is actually diminishing who you are. And it's belittling you in some way. And that's just something that, you know, I feel you might need to think about over the next 2 weeks. Because it's your communication that, you know, will be the hindrance to all of this amazing stuff that wants to happen for you over the next fortnight, which lays the foundation for even more amazing stuff going forward. So really, really awesome cards. I mean, great. And finally, let's see what the destiny is. What is the overarching theme of the next fortnight that kind of has something to say to and for you? Let's have a look. All right. Okay, so we've got Judgment. Okay, so yeah, definitely having a blast from the past over the next fortnight. This may well be physically, it may well be, like I said, it could be an ex coming back into the fold, it could be a friend coming back into the fold. You know, with the things that are gearing up to happen, because this card represents the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is all about the higher ideals, the higher goals, the ways to look forward, the ways that we elevate what and who we are. So your destiny over the next fortnight is to really tap into your ability to transmute energy and use it as fuel to go forward. You know, because the Judgment in this deck, it's called the Sleepers, and the Sleepers represents your ancestors, it represents your ancestry, it represents all of the energy and the power and the gifting that has come before you. And it reminds you that it's yours to use in this lifetime, because you are, and I believe this of everybody, we are the pinnacle of the lines that we come from. You know, so it's a really interesting card for you guys to get. If you simplify the number 20, which is the number of this card, in numerology it gives you the number 2. 2 is all about partnership, balance, diplomacy, what is fair for us, not just me. which, you know, Aries is not necessarily known for, because the 2 is your opposite energy. 1 is all about me, it's the pioneer, it's being at the front, it's being at the forefront and making sure that I come out on top, whereas the 2 is about what is best for us. And this is something that, you know, over the next 2 weeks is going to become more prominent for you. So really, really interesting, and I think it's going to be a great fortnight for you. Keep me posted, let me know how it goes. As I said, I will be on holiday, so I'll probably catch a couple of your comments, but business as usual when we get to the end of the month. I wish you an abundance of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance itself. I really hope this has helped you. For the continued subbies, I love you. Thank you so much for your support. For those of you that are just passing through, I hope you found something that helps. And for those of you that have just subscribed, welcome to Radiant Reality, and I hope to see a lot more of you. Take care, and I will see you very soon.